Hi everyone, welcome to Accolite Digital Connect, our thought leadership series across the latest in domain and tech. I'm your host, Shrikant Palle, and the head marketing for Accolite Digital. Today, we have a very interesting topic from the telco domain, which is communication services as a marketplace. I have two very eminent speakers with me today. They are Anupam Agarwal and Sumit Sachdeva. Anupam currently heads the Domain Solutions Center of Excellence for the Telecom business unit. He has a vast experience in the telecom industry, and prior to joining Accolite, was leading a large team of telecom consultants and was instrumental in creating new digital service offerings, which ultimately created new revenue streams. He's a veteran of very large digital transformation programs for large telcos. Our other speaker for the day is Sumit Sachdeva. Sumit is a practice lead for the Telecom BU. And Sumit has got very strong credentials in the digital, CRM, OSS, BSS transformation space, large projects for telcos again. Sumit has expertise in solution development and especially around setting up of consulting-led specific center of excellences. So before I hand over to Sumit, little housekeeping. If you have any questions during the session, please do put them in the comment section. So once Anupam completes his session, we will then take up the questions. So without much ado, I'll hand over to Sumit. Sumit?
Thank you, Shrikant. Hello, everyone. And thank you, Shrikant. And thank you, everyone else, for joining this session. In the next 30 minutes, Anupam and I will talk through the current CSP or the telco market and the business landscape, the typical challenges, and an approach that we have for a communications marketplace solution. Now, what you see on the slide over here is the typical digital transformation trends or levers for CSPs, so communication service providers. Now, a lot of these would not be very new, but I'll just explain a bit on what our thought process is over here. Now, currently, as we see, we are almost finishing 2021, and communication service providers continue to struggle with changing market conditions and competition from OTT and digital service providers. CSPs across the globe have been driving digital transformation programs for several years to transform their enterprise and to improve customer and employee experience. The COVID-19 pandemic has in fact further accelerated the need for digital customer interactions across all industries, and the same goes for telecommunications. And some of the themes for digital transformation are as listed on the slide over here. The very first one, which is about improving customer experience, is not very new. In fact, it's been a focus for all service providers across industries for decades. For example, in telecommunications, it is no longer practical for B2B customers to wait for almost 30 days for a final quote, which used to be the case earlier, or for B2C or the retail customers to finalize a product only at a retail store. They've all gone digital now, right? So it is imperative for CSPs to continuously innovate and improve the experience of their customers, the employees, as well as their partners. The next one, which is digital product development and faster go-to-market. This is another important lever for digital transformation because traditionally the product developments for CSPs, it has taken roughly around 6 months to a year. But to launch digital products faster, CSPs will have to adopt best practices of agile product development, which other digital service providers have been using. For instance, several OTT service providers and hyperscalers can do deployments every month or even every day or even an hour. And CSPs really need to catch up to that. The next one, which is network modernization. This is again an important lever for digital transformation. Why? Because as we all know, cloudification of the network and network functions in the form of SDN, or NFV will help CSPs to reduce cost, improve the visibility and performance of the network, and of course, increase business agility. So that's very important. Finally, IT systems transformation. This again is very important across the landscape for CSPs, telcos, when they look across the customer, the consumer, or the enterprise business. And this transformation has to be a holistic one, which goes across your transformation for customers, for employees, and all touch points basically. And for this, a lot of CSPs, either they have been already adopting cloud native OSS BSS applications, and or they have been modernizing the legacy IT applications by introducing a microservices layer or an API layer. Now, none of these would be very new, but it's important to look at these levers together, because that's when we get a true picture of digital transformation. Now, in the upcoming slides, Anupam and I will be talking about an approach that we recommend CSPs and product vendors to adopt for tackling these areas. But before I jump onto that, there are some typical challenges, again, which I would like to highlight, which CSPs, again, have been facing. So the ones which you see on the screen over here. So, of course, this is not a holistic list. CSPs have been facing several business challenges, be it market fitment, be it faster go-to-market, or improving the services to the customers, reducing the cost. But some of these which are listed over here are very prominent and very important. So the very first one, for example, which is around competition from OTT. Now, thanks to innovative and digital service offerings from OTT service providers, CSPs continue to face disruptive competition to launch new and better product offerings in the market. In fact, I think CSPs market offerings have improved as well because of the way OTTs have been innovating. For example, today we do most of our meetings on either Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, or similar such digital workplace solutions. And the communication services only act as the backbone to enable this network. And then again, if you go to the next one, which is around reduction in revenue. So I think we will all agree that at this point, connectivity is most important, sure, but CSP's traditional revenue, which used to come from voice and messaging, that has fallen. And in fact, the net income of CSPs from these voice and messaging services continues to remain the lowest since 2009. And of course, CSPs have been trying to innovate and move to better product offerings, or do some consolidation of their IT or improve the operational work. But I don't think we've really moved over from this point, right? The net income still remains quite low. And finally, and importantly, hyperscalers like Google, Amazon, or Microsoft, they have also started to offer telecom specific products directly. For example, if you look at Google Fiber offering, or if you look at examples where these hyperscalers have been working together with the CSPs across the globe, like AWS partnership with Verizon in the US to launch a 5G edge platform. That is very important. And it's important for all the CSPs to recognize this as not just a challenge, but hyperscalers also offer us a great opportunity to work together. And these are the points that bring me to the next topic, which is what should we do to work around these challenges, and not just look at these as challenges to mitigate, but what are the opportunities in this new way of working? What is our approach? And with that, I would like to hand over to Anupam, who will talk about the next couple of slides, which is on our marketplace offering approach.
Thank you, Sumit. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And so Sumit talked about the challenges faced by the CSPs. And these challenges are not new, as he said, right? Since 2009, the total income is either stagnant or going down. And this reminds me of a saying, like the people who made roads are earning less than the people who made cars. So CSPs are like a road makers who have created the broadband network and everything. And the OTTs like Netflix and other, they are like car makers who are earning much more than the road maker. And I was talking to a CIO last week, and he sort of He was a CIO of a European company, and he was talking the same challenge he's facing, right? So for many decades, the CSPs and OTT were competing with each other. And this is not the successful formula or the win formula for both of them, right? Instead of competition, now it has to be cooperation. So the thought which we are going to talk right now is how can communication service provider can become the marketplace. This is one of the business model many CSPs are exploring. There are other business models as well, but CSP as a marketplace is one of the prominent business model which most of the CSPs in US, in Europe, and also in Australia region, they are exploring this. So for the people who don't know what is a marketplace, marketplace is like Amazon, where the buyers and sellers come together and do the transaction. So the question is, why CSP should be marketplace? So if you see on the left side of the slide, there is a partner ecosystem. On the right side, there is a customer ecosystem. And in between, there is a customer service provider or communication service provider. So the buyers who are like biggies of the world, like HSBC, Citibank, Procter & Gamble, right? They are hungry for innovative solutions to improve their business. On the left side, partner ecosystem, you would find a lot of innovative solutions, like somebody sitting in Berlin or Bangalore and coming up with the amazing software solutions, right? How do we bridge this gap, right? The biggies like Citibank and Procter & Gamble, they are not going to go and talk to the a startup in Bangalore or Berlin, right? At the same time, the startup, they would not have scale to talk to these guys. So that bridge has to be done by the CSPs. So this is very, very important space where CSP give the trust to the end customer that I have onboarded the products from the OTTs or the startups or the innovators, and I have tested it. And this is how I'm going to provide the service to you. Because CSP is sitting on a huge amount of data. They are servicing these customers for a long time. They know customer preference. They know when customer raises the ticket. They know what are the challenges faced by these customers. So they can help the partners to basically customize their products for the need of their customers. So what kind of partners would be there? If you see on the left side, industry verticals. I'll take just one example. Like CSPs can work with the innovative solutions on the health side and give the doctor presence or telemedicine kind of a presence. So CSP, rather than just becoming the pipe, right? They can work with the industry verticals, either in manufacturing or health or there are many use cases, and create innovative solutions and add a layer on these products and sell it to the customer. I'll talk about what layer I'm talking about. Second is OTT service providers. There are huge amount of innovations happening in every corner of the world, which is not reaching. And CSP can create an accelerator program to onboard these OTT service providers or the startups who can be given the data in a masked form from the end customer, and they can start innovating these things. Hyperscalers is a big animal, right? As Sumit was talking about, AWS, GCP, right? Microsoft Azure, right? They are coming with the very specific vertical solutions for telecom or manufacturing or insurance, right? Same happening with the cloud service providers like OSS, BSS, Salesforce, Velocity, ServiceNow, right? These are the people who are coming with the vertical solutions. It is very important for CSPs to shake hand with them and create a very compelling solutions for the end customer. If you see the right side, who are the buyers? Buyers are either industry verticals, it could be manufacturing company, it could be banks, it could be any other IT company who are buying communication service providers, and other marketplaces. So this marketplace, the concept is there would be multiple marketplaces, and each marketplace will start talking to each other. And also they can sell it to other CSPs. So in nutshell, it is not possible for to compete with OTT and CSPs and other players. It is time for cooperation where all can work together and create a win solution for the end customer. Let me go to the next slide. So now what happens, like if we have to create a marketplace, what are the tenets to create a marketplace? First of all, partner and customer onboarding is number one. How will you onboard a partner or customer on your marketplace? I was talking to someone around 6 months back, and it used to take them almost 3-4 months to onboard a partner. Let's say Anupam, I have a small startup. If I want to sell my services, right? There's a huge paperwork which I have to do with the CSPs to onboard my product. So there is a particular capability required to onboard the partner and customers. There is a lot of details which me and Sumit have captured in the white paper. You can go through that. But this is one of the most important aspects. Ideally, it should be 4 days or 5 days a partner should be onboarded. Second is product definition and digital product development. It is the heart of this marketplace. Imagine if you have to launch a product, there is something called active product catalog. So product catalog earlier used to be like a menu card. There is an item and there is a money, right? Well, how much it will cost. But these days, product catalog have become very active. And you need to have your product, your partner's product, and combination of these two, bundling. This is a very complex space. And many of those cloud service providers, they're struggling here. This is one of the most important and complex space where how the product should be defined, right? For example, if you are giving Spotify free for 3 months, right, along with the services, how will you do that? Would you have a federated catalog? Would you have a centralized catalog? Would you have a generic catalog? Or you would have very specific service offerings? This is a very complex space, and CSPs has to focus on this. Digital architecture integration. If you talk any of the big 5 CSPs in the world, right, the major problem for them is their architecture are not digital aligned. To launch any service, it takes almost 6 months, right? If you are like, let's say on 15th of December, 14th of December, and your marketing guy says that I want to launch a new product for Christmas, not possible right now with the kind of architecture. There is a minimum 6 months release time. If you want to change a small price, or if you want to change a small feature, it takes almost 6 months, right? And this is not affordable in the current digital age. And digital architecture and integration, I'm sure you have heard of Telemanagement Forum, TMF. There is an open digital architecture. It's an amazing framework which they have created, and most of the telcos are leveraging that. The fourth is cloud OSS and BSS. Gone are the days when you have on-premises OSS, BSS, custom-built OSS, BSS, and it takes ages for you to implement a new product or implement a new feature. These days, companies like Salesforce, Velocity, ServiceNow, right? They have created an amazing set of frameworks or platform which you can use to launch these particular marketplace. And there are challenges in some of the spaces like B2B, but for B2C space, you can have at least 90% out of the box features. The fifth one is digital sales, service, and operations. This is a place which is a cost center for any CSP, right? If all the big CSPs have more than 3,000 or 4,000 salespeople across the world, their service and operations people are huge. This is one of the cost. And when you do the mathematics, right, this cost is basically impacting your overall bottom line. And this space is a major problem for CFOs. So instead of having so manual touch points for sales and service and operations, right, there is a thought process how we can make it digital. I was putting some thought around 6 months back on how we can have only 4 to 5 sales people across the world, and everything is done digitally. So this is a space which is all CSPs has to transform, and especially when they are going for the marketplace approach. Leveraging hyperscalers, the last point. It is what I have observed. These hyperscalers are very big. The Sumit was talking to Google Fiber or AWS and Verizon launches, right, on the edge side. They are so big. Even if it is not joined together with CSP and hyperscalers, I would not hesitate to say that most of the revenues will start going towards hyperscalers in coming years. So it is very important to shake hand, create a compelling solutions with hyperscalers, and take it to the customer. Let's go to the next slide. So in nutshell, what we talked in last 20-25 minutes, right? There are huge challenges for CSPs. There are more option of innovation in the space which CSP is doing right now. The challenges are in the space of customer experience, bottom line, top line, in terms of modernization of the network, and the challenges and the threats from hyperscalers. It is very important to come up with a new business model, and marketplace is one of the option of this business model. And it is very important, whether it is a tier 2 service provider or it is a tier 1 service provider, to start doing this in this particular fashion as early as possible. In case you want to know a little bit more details, Sumit and I have made an attempt to write a white paper on this topic, which is on the Medium. I'll take a pause now, and Shrikant, over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Anupam and Sumit. This was very interesting. Okay, we have 2 questions which are common. And, with what I gather from the session, CSPs definitely need to be evolving, right? So that's a kind of a given, considering that market dynamics are happening, and this evolution is a necessity. Now, when you're talking of this necessity of this evolution, there are 2 routes which are coming forward. One is, do you foresee their roles as a marketplace to sell products of OTTs like an Amazon, or do you foresee them doing a value add on the products? So what do you think should be the right route that CSP should ideally take?
Sure. So I'll take that, Shrikant.
Yeah.
So now, of course, so CSPs will definitely add a lot of value in this ecosystem of a marketplace. And why? Because CSPs ideally should not restrict the scope to just reselling of OTT products. Some of the CSPs are doing that, and that's not a wrong approach. But I think CSPs have a great opportunity here where they can do a lot of co-creation and co-innovation with these OTTs and hyperscalers, as Anupam rightly called out. And with the global reach that several telcos offer, and having these communication services as a backbone, there could be a lot of digital products and services that can be conceptualized, and all marketplace members will benefit from it. So sure, in a nutshell, CSPs should act as an Amazon as well on the marketplace, but they have to, and they should go over and beyond that as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, sure. Thanks.
I just want to add, Shrikant,
okay.
What Sumit said, right? So if you see, CSPs are having a huge amount of data from their end customers, right? And we should use this data as an intelligent device to improve the products. So what CSPs can do, for example, there is a company called Anupam and Company, who is a small startup. I don't have a scale, right, to go to the Procter & Gamble and sell my services. So CSPs will give 3-4 things. It will bring the scale. It will bring the security layer on top of it. It will bring the managed services layer on top of it. It will bring the intelligence layer on top of it, based on the knowledge from the customer, and then take it to the client. So it's a very important aspect the CSPs will play. It is not like a typical retail marketplace where the CSPs are just giving the platform. There is a lot of value for them.
So I think we are talking of a complete fundamental shift in the way we are currently looking at things, right? With this entire marketplace concept.
I think it's a good question. When you say fundamentally shift, it's a fundamental shift, but at the same time, it's not like I have done so many things and I cannot start with the marketplace, right? You can start your marketplace at any point of time. It has to be a holistic approach, but you can start at any point of time, right? So because most of the CSPs have embarked on some kind of a digital transformation journey, right? And I guess you wanted to check whether can I do it right now, or shall I wait for my transformation to over? I think it is very important to start at any point of time, because I was talking to somebody in Greece 3 weeks back, and they have just started with 2 particular digital service offering, very small service offering they have started. So it's not that you need to have the complete digital architecture, complete OSS, BSS. You can start onboarding the partners and start selling their products with your value added. And then slowly you transform your digital architecture. Have I answered your question, Shrikant?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So there's one more which has come in, Anupam. This is more around, should CSPs who are already going through this transformation, how should they typically approach it, the entire marketplace solution? I know you addressed it a bit in your previous response. Any insights around that?
Yeah. So if you can, Sumit can go to the previous slide. We are talking about these 6 tenets, right? What are the areas they have to start focusing on, right? And among this, which is the most important one in terms of starting the work, is partner and customer onboarding. We need to create an APIs where we can onboard customer and partners very fast. There are challenges in the B2B space where the partners don't have the digital APIs. Still, a lot of work is to be done manually. So this is one space where they should start immediately, partner and customer onboarding. And the second space is on the cloud OSS BSS part, right? These are the 2 fundamental areas where they should start working on this. Operations, leveraging hyperscalers. This is a long-term thing. So it can be done in day 2, but cloud, you're changing your IT landscape, and onboarding of a partner customer is one of the most important and to start with.